The countdown is on this morning to take 2 of NASA's Artemis launch in just a couple of hours from now. The Artemis 1 is expected to be back in business and on schedule for that trip to the moon. This is a historic journey. And here to break down the significance of that trip is Nichole Granucci, an instructor of physics at Quinnipiac University. Nichole, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's an exciting morning for you.
It is.
Exciting morning for a lot of people, including NASA. Tell us about the significance of this for people who have maybe not been following the headlines around it.
Sure. So this is very exciting, especially since it's happening today. So Artemis is a part of a series of launches that they're going to do. And what's really historic about this is that they're actually going to be doing this to make a presence on the moon, not just going up to the moon and saying that was great, but they really just want to establish some deep space exploration. And Artemis 1 is the first step in doing this. And they're doing this as an unmanned flight, mostly to test their systems. They want to make sure everything is going smoothly. They have a new Orion spacecraft that they're testing, which is habitable. So that's another really major thing that's happening. Previously, we've gone up to space, we come back, but actually spending time in space, that's super exciting. So they want to make sure their new SLS systems are working properly. They want to make sure everything, all their, T's are crossed, their I's are dotted. And of course, they want to really focus on this and kind of understand and anticipate what to expect when they go out into deep space for 6 weeks. They'll have some mannequins on there to kind of get an interaction of how people will react, not with people there, so that they can anticipate, oh, this is how much radiation they have. They're actually doing some studies with some biology experiments. Since they're flying by the moon, we might as well go see some things and, explore some really cool things. So they're doing lots of science experiments. And this is the first step in multiple steps with the Artemis series.
Right, and it's hard to believe. It's been 50 years since we've been back on the moon. I mean, that's been a while. You would think that we would have been back on the moon at this point. Why have we not been back? And what's the difference between this mission, the start of this mission, and those Apollo missions?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I wish I had a more interesting answer, but it's government funding and it's motivation. These projects take a long time. Artemis 1 was originally a 5-year project. It took 12 years to do. There's, government funding, and sometimes it gets cut. And when you stop, you get delayed. And to start these projects up again, it takes a long time. So honestly, it's just it's government funding, but motivations have changed. A lot more excitement has been in the science realm lately. James Webb Space Telescope has been really exciting, and I think more people are getting involved in it. They're also reducing costs by taking outside companies. So they're especially with the Artemis, they're using not just NASA, but companies all around the country to kind of come in and help out with everything, and that's helping reduce costs and making it more viable.
Right, and we're keeping our fingers crossed everything goes well today. Now, after today, you mentioned this is a multi-step journey. We've got Artemis 2 and Artemis 3.
Yeah.
Want to put a woman on the moon, first person of color on the moon as well. Tell us about what happens next in those 2 missions following this.
Yeah, so after this mission, the unmanned mission, the next mission is the manned mission. They're anticipating a crew of 4 people, and like you mentioned, a woman, a person of color. But the second mission is mostly just, again, a fly around the moon. They're spending 6 weeks up there, and they're really just studying the habitat. Like, how do we live on this capsule for such a long time? This just hasn't been done before. So the second mission is to kind of see how the people on the crew kind of anticipate the journey around the moon. And then step 3, Artemis 3, is when they actually land on the moon. But not only just land on the moon, like I said earlier, they're trying to make a presence. So they're going to make sure that after there's more. There's Artemis 5, 4, 5, 6. And they want to get astronauts up there yearly to do experimentation, and of course to set the groundwork for future deep space exploration, and such as going to Mars and et cetera like that.
Yeah, so hopefully today everything goes well, not like last time. We don't get scrubbed again, and we get on pace for Artemis 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever comes next. Nichole, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. That launch window opens at 2:17, I believe, this afternoon, so just a few hours away, of course.